my Punisher or skull themed M4a1 is complete. Like I said, I was kind of doing it because it's October, we're getting closer to Halloween, but also because I had several parts printed from other builds that I wanted to go ahead and find a use for because they either didn't work out or something down the line. I took that build apart, whatever. So wanted to go ahead and utilize that. So I had some of these skulls already printed. I had this magwell with the skull on it, and then the front grip. And so I always like to find uses for good pieces that I've made because, it took time to make them, and it's always cool to repurpose them if you can and find other builds for them. And then I utilize the standard M4 handguard here because I've got a ton of extra ones, like, probably a couple dozen at least. So to be able to incorporate something with that, where I just did a little bit of 3D printing for the end, was, a good way to use those too. So you can see here, the handguard is that standard M4a1 handguard. And then really what I did was just take that sight off, and I had to shorten it just slightly. So you've got this added piece here, and this actually is the end of the actual metal inner barrel ends just inside the threads that are on this tip. So you've got this skull, flashlight or fake suppressor, whatever you want to call it, which this is just a larger version really of this piece that's permanent, right? So that's the little skull underneath that. Got your grip here. It's got the American flag skull on it. That was something I was just trying to find a good use for. Thought it would go well here. Made some little rail covers. Now I'd used this stone texture spray paint before I put the gray over the top, and I kind of like it for the looks of this blaster. I don't know that we'll see how it looks on some other ones, but since we got the dark gray colors and this is supposed to be, skulls, stone, skull, I thought that would look all right. Back here, went with an old AK-47 stock that I shortened and then added the skulls on there and just kind of melted them, or not melted them, heated them up so that you could bend them along the contours of that. Over on this side, not much different going on. You just get a different look at the front. This was kind of cool, made a little skull mag release. I did have to put the screw kind of right through the middle of the nose, but hey, that's all right. It still looks pretty cool, I think. So there's a good look at it. Now, I had done up a gearbox with all metal gears, everything, a Gen 8 one, and something's wrong with it. I think it has to do with the O-ring, the cylinder. Something is just it's not getting any good FPS. And so I tried redoing things a couple times, opening that up, and I just don't have the other parts on hand. So I actually swapped a normal Gen 8 nylon gearbox back in here with a bigger spring, which still does very well. And you're still getting in, close to 300 FPS. And those nylon gears can handle that fine. You're just going to, sure, they'll wear out a little sooner than metal gears, but I always say, in a lot of cases, push your nylon gears until they break, and then you just replace them with metal gears instead of, right away replacing them. So still some good performance out of it. Annoyed that I had to keep reopening that gearbox and I still couldn't get it to work, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So anyway, comments, questions about the Punisher or Skull Edition M4a1, let me know. And of course, comment, like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways. Thanks.